Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. And I didn't know if I wanted to do this, but against my better judgments, I am here today to throw out some Criterion Collection recommendations. Now, why do I say that? Because every single time I do a Criterion recommendation video, I get flooded with people in the comments being like, "Oh my God, it's all the mainstream stuff. This stuff sucks, Ken. You suck. You don't dive deep enough into the Criterion Collection." Look, guys, I'll admit that right now. Where's all the foreign films? Which I've got foreign films here today, guys. Okay, to talk about. I Look, I like Criterion. I get quite a bit from Criterion, but I don't dive like super deep into the Criterion Collection. So you're going to find better, more comprehensive like Criterion recommendation videos on YouTube. But if you're somebody that's kind of like entering, the Criterion into the Criterion Collection, if you haven't bought too much stuff from them, if you're kind of a newbie to the Criterion Collection, you're looking for some good stuff to pick up during the Barnes& and Noble 50% off sale, because that's why we're here, guys. We're here to recommend some titles during the sale month. This is going on, I think, until, I want to say July the 26th is when the Criterion sale is over with, but I could be wrong. I'll put it somewhere on the screen as I'm talking about it. Now, I've already been to Barnes& and Noble. I've already got my first haul. I plan to do a couple of more before the end of the month. But yeah, just I want to throw out some good recommendations for people that may not know too much, about the Criterion Collection, that haven't dove like super deep into it. Now, if you're like somebody that's maybe watched like 70, 80 Criterions and you're looking to dive like deeper into the collection, or maybe you're somebody that's got 500 in your collection, this is probably not the video for you. You probably got all the titles that I'm getting ready to discuss here today. But before we get into it, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about all things physical media here on this channel: Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me every single day. If you like the kind of stuff, that kind of content, hit that subscribe button. And let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Let's start with a new favorite of mine from the Criterion Collection. I do love my Westerns, and this is one of the few Criterions I picked up not during a sale. Most of the time I will wait, which I would advise most people to wait during these Barnes& and Noble sales to pick up Criterions, because they do 2 a year. They do them in July, they do them in November. There's also 24-hour flash sales that take place as well, that you can get, your Criterions for 50% off. So there's really like no reason to pay full price for a Criterion unless it's a title that you just really want to get. You can't wait for it. And I couldn't wait for this one. This is Winchester 73 with James Stewart. I love James Stewart. Like, he has really grown into one of my favorite actors, and I love the Western genre. I had never seen this movie, so when I heard that this was coming out, I was like, I got to get this. And this absolutely delivered. I really loved this movie. It's about, James Stewart. He wins a rifle in this competition, and then it gets taken from him, and it's kind of his journey to get it back. Like, it keeps switching hands, and he's basically just trying to get the rifle back. Like, that's the meat of the story. But James Stewart is excellent in this movie. Everybody's great in the film. It's just very well directed by Anthony Mann as well. I'm getting more into his filmography with films like The Furies, which I don't have in my recommendations, but I do recommend that film as well. It's a great movie. But yeah, Winchester 73, it's a newer title. It's a 4K. I will say that with this one, this one does have the 4K and the Blu-ray. I think you're good just getting the Blu-ray. Like, honestly, unless you're just somebody that's 4K crazy, I think the Blu-ray is just fine to get for this film. There's some really solid, special features in this as well that's also on the Blu-ray. So you're going to get all the same stuff with the Blu-ray. You're just going to pay $5 less. So that would be my recommendation, even though this is the 4K. Next up, guys, we've got the Freaks box set, or I think this is called Todd Browning's Sideshow Shockers. This is a really cool set that came out back in 2023. Really awesome, like digipack edition. And this has, 3 Todd Browning directed films. Of course, you got the iconic Freaks from 1932. You've got The Unknown and The Mystic, which were early silent films from him back in the 20s. I ended up liking those 2 movies quite a bit as well. Of course, Freaks is a classic with some really, like, Freaks is interesting because it is really like an emotional like character drama for a lot of it that kind of turns a little bit horror in the last like 20 minutes, but people I feel like kind of remember it as a horror movie. But it's definitely a great film. It's definitely a great movie. But these all looked really good. They're all Blu-rays. This did not come out in 4K, even though I do think Freaks could benefit from a 4K. But the Mystic and the Unknown, definitely, definitely not. Those are fine on Blu-ray. But yeah, really great set from the Criterion Collection. 3 movies in one. You can probably get this for I think $35 in the sale right now, which is not bad for again 3 movies in one. So yeah, that's the Todd Browning's Sideshow Shockers. And we've got 10 recommendations, guys, just to let you know. I don't think I announced that at the beginning of the video. All right, guys, let's do some foreign movies. Are you ready? Let's talk about, everybody's like, that guy, Ken, that's the most basic, like, new foreign film. But I'm putting a foreign film in here. Okay, so you can't complain. We've got Bong Joon-ho's Parasite uh, from 2019. So this is one of the few, I think there might be 2 movies in the Criterion Collection that I saw in the theaters. This one and Uncut Gems, which is another great one that I recommend, but I didn't bring that one over here. And I saw both of those films like within a week of each other at the end of 2019. I saw Parasite in an art house theater in my city. That was when I was like trying to go and see everything in the theaters. I don't really do that as much anymore. But this movie, like, definitely, it was very hyped, but it delivered, and it kind of blew my mind seeing this film in the theaters. I watched it again when I got it on Blu-ray, and then I watched it again when I got this Criterion Blu-ray. Now, this is a Blu-ray. I think this also does include the black and white version, which I have not watched. I did not watch the black and white version. Now there is a universal 4K of this, but I've heard from a lot of people, because I don't have that universal 4K, that this Blu-ray actually looks better than that 4K. I can't confirm because I haven't seen it, but I think that's worth noting for sure, because I'm sure there's people that's like, well, Ken, why should I get that when there's a 4K? Now this does have like a lot of features that I don't think the 4K has, that are pretty freaking cool. But yeah, Parasite's awesome. It's a great movie that just unfolds like in all these like wild directions. Like how they set things up is like how they is not how they play out at all. And it kind of shifts genres as it goes as well. And I think it's Bong Joon-ho's best movie by like a mile. Like I just think this is such a great film. I need him to make another movie like this, like not Mickey 17, make something like this. But this is a really great addition though. Right there, all the actors in this film are so phenomenal. They're so great. There's some nice images on the inside. And yeah, really cool stuff, guys. This is a little pamphlet on some information on the film. And I need to watch this again. I need to watch this again because it's been quite a bit. I know my wife and I, well, my wife like really like she loves Asian cinema. Like she's really starting to get into it. And we talked about rewatching this one for sure, especially after watching Squid Game. Like we just get hyped up on it again. And this is another, South Korean film right here. So yeah, Parasite, 100% recommend that release from the Criterion Collection. We've also got also Bong Joon-ho and a foreign film. Guys, we got Memories of a Murder right here. So my wife and I actually watched this for the first time earlier this year, and we both liked it. It's about a serial killer, and it kind of like takes place through time, like people trying to capture this guy over like decades. And it's an interesting film, about a group of cops and their dynamic and stuff, and how they like grow together and try to figure out this case. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of left unanswered, a little ambiguous. I can't say I loved it, but it was an interesting film, and I can definitely see that there's something there. Maybe I'll enjoy this one more on repeat viewings, but I definitely think it's a good film. Probably my second favorite from Bong Joon-ho, actually. But on the back there, you got some, some special features and stuff. I love the artwork on this as well. I think it's great. And then you got some disc art. I think there's an interview with Guillermo del Toro in here as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, there's 2 discs in this. It's a Blu-ray set. It's a great set from the Criterion Collection. Lots of special features to dive into, and a really cool movie. I do recommend the movie for sure. My only hang up with Bong And it's something I feel like he did really well in Parasite, but he doesn't quite do it so well in other films. Is the way he balances like the really dark material with like the more comedic elements. I don't feel like it's always the most well done. That kind of was the case in this. Whereas in Parasite, I feel like he balances them perfectly and they both just kind of complement each other. In this, I think the comedy, the more comedic stuff kind of takes away from the darker stuff, if that makes any sense. It's still a good movie, still one I would recommend that you pick up from the Criterion Collection. And keep it on the foreign film train, guys. Are you listening? I don't want to hear no foreign film crap in the comments section. Can't watch Stalker. Watch Stalker. I got Stalker. I'll check it out. Solaris. I'll check it out at some point. We've also got Roma from Alfonso Cuarón, the same director as Gravity, and also Prisoner of Azkaban, Children of Men, very accomplished, Spanish director. And this one was a really good movie that I checked out on Netflix. I think this came out in 2018, and it was also nominated for Best Picture. I remember like this movie, I liked it a lot, like throughout the entirety of it, but like the ending, like just really hit me. And this is a little embarrassing, but guys, like I was sitting there like weeping on the couch, like watching this movie. It just, the ending like hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what it was. I haven't seen this movie in quite some time, probably since I got the Criterion release. But this is also cool because it's a Netflix film. It's a Netflix original, and they will, license out some of their more prestigious films, like Marriage Story also has a Criterion, The Irishman, to the Criterion Collection to put out physically. So I think that's pretty cool. The Power of the Dog also has a Criterion edition. But this is pretty awesome, and it even has the Netflix logo on the back. So yeah, you can, if you haven't seen this, maybe sample it on Netflix if you're somebody that likes to, try before you buy, and then pick this one up. But this has got some really great features. You got a brand new documentary about the making of the film, and this is really like Alfonso Cuarón, just kind of, it's almost like his Fablemans, like Steven Spielberg's The Fablemans. This is really Alfonso Cuarón just like explaining through film like what it was like to grow up in this like God, where does this take place at? Mexico City, like in this, to basically grow up poor in Mexico City, like what he went through as a kid. Like this is the story of that. But I just thought it was an amazing movie. I love this movie, and it's a great addition from the Criterion Collection, and it's got like a really big booklet inside as well. Like there's some great stuff in here, guys. There is a scene in this I remember with a guy that's like butt ass naked, and he's got this stick, and he's that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. I remember that. I remember that, and I remember the ending. But it's been a while since I've seen this. I need to go back and check it out. I think this release came out maybe 2020 or something like that. But I need to watch this one again. It's been too long. I do think it's a great film, and it's a Spanish movie, and it's Alfonso Cuarón, and it's black and white. Is that enough for you Criterion nerds out there? I'm sorry. Guys, I love the Criterion Collection, but sometimes the comment section with Criterion videos can just get a little too crazy. All right, guys, let's get back into some more mainstream releases from the Criterion Collection. We've got Thelma and Louise, directed by Ridley Scott. What can you say about this film? One of the greatest like road trip crime movies of all time. Two great lead females with Susan Sarandon, Gina Davis, Brad Pitt in this movie, like very early Brad Pitt performance. And it's just a great film. It looks phenomenal. This is a 4K, looks so good on 4K. This is one of the best 4Ks that Criterion has ever done. It looked like a movie that was like made today. Like it looks so damn good in 4K. But you also got a commentary with Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon. You got new interviews with Ridley Scott here as well. So that's definitely really awesome. And yeah, this is a great release. On the inside, nice digipack with a booklet. You got that skyline right there. Yeah, phenomenal Criterion release. I would recommend this to anybody. This is one of the best releases in the Criterion Collection. Thelma and Louise, you got to get it. Next up, guys, we've got the Chilly Scenes of Winter. And this one I feel like is more of an obscure pick. I think this came out back in 2023, a little bit under the radar for a lot of people. This is a Blu-ray release, but I really love this movie. It's directed by Joan Micklin Silver, and I think it was also produced by Griffin Dunn and Amy Robinson as well, and Mark Metcalf, which they were kind of a producing team at this time. Came out back in 1979. Scorsese, I feel like might have been involved in this as well, but maybe not. But it's got John Hurt in it, Mary Beth Hurt, and it's basically just about a guy that can't get over his past love. And he's trying to move on, but he can't, and he's kind of gets a little bit obsessive. She's moved on. She's got a new boyfriend or husband, maybe. And it's a really well done movie. I mean, he kind of like characters like that kind of get on my nerves a little bit. But John Hurt is such a great performer, such a great actor, and I haven't seen enough from him. I need to check out more of his stuff. And it's just a really well done, just kind of like portrait of a relationship that has fallen apart, and this guy's like desperate attempt to get it back. And yeah, it's just a really solid movie, and I really enjoyed this one. And it's got some great special features. It's got a new feature with Griffin Dunn, Mark Metcalf, and Amy Robinson. I think it's about 30 minutes, and it's just talking all about this film, how they produced it, the story behind it, how they adapted the material, because I think it was based on a novel. And it's a really excellent special feature. So yeah, really solid Blu-ray release from the Criterion Collection that I don't think enough people checked out, and I think you should if you haven't. All right, guys, you ready for some more foreign stuff? Let's talk about Godzilla on 4K from the Criterion Collection. I reviewed this last year. Godzilla is a great, great movie. I really love the original Godzilla. It looks fantastic in 4K. I highly recommend this release. I do. It's got some great features. Now, this does have a Blu-ray digipack as well, but I recommend the 4K. I think the 4K got some good clarity, some good depth, and I think it looks fantastic. You know what else has good depth? This pop out right here. Look at that, guys. I recommend this just for the Godzilla pop out. Look at that. Oh my God. But yeah, Godzilla, I would say one of the most important films, at least for like modern, like creature features, monster movies. Like this one, like pretty much started that kaiju, craze that would take place during the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, and honestly still going to this day. And yeah, Godzilla, definitely one of the most important films, and it really is a great movie. I think that, this is the best Godzilla movie. Then I would probably put Godzilla -1 behind it. But it takes the material like really seriously in a way that the future sequels would not. And I kind of like that. I like my Godzilla films a little bit serious. And this one does a good job at that. So Godzilla, definitely a great Criterion release. Next up, we've got Scarface from 1932 on 4K. This is another one kind of like Winchester 73. Maybe save your money and get the Blu-ray, because this movie doesn't look, I don't know, just the way it was made, the way it was shot. I think it was a very low budget movie. It's directed by Howard Hawks, but I don't think they put a ton of money into it. And it just doesn't, cinematically, visually, it just doesn't look super fantastic, even on Blu-ray. But in 4K, I feel like it didn't look that much better at all. So I feel like it didn't really do too much for it as far as like detail or clarity. Maybe you could notice a little bit in certain scenes here and there, but I really think you're better off just saving some money, going for the Blu-ray with this release, because visually I wasn't super impressed by this 4K versus the Blu-ray that's also in this set. The movie itself, I had never seen the original Scarface. I'd only seen the Al Pacino remake, which I still think is a better movie. But man, did I really love this. And I really have a new appreciation for some of these like older classic films because of this movie. Just some of the stuff that they were able to do and accomplish, and some of the themes that they brought into these movies as early as 1932. Like this was fresh off the silent film era. And I do think this movie has like, it kind of stands on its own as far as like the Scarface story. Like the Pacino one just takes things in a grander, more like over the top, bombastic direction. Like this one is really just kind of grounded, I feel like, in character, and it works very well. I think this is a great movie, and I think Paul Mooney as Scarface is great. I think he is a great Scarface, like performance wise. It's a very different performance, but I do think it kind of stands up to Al Pacino's Tony Montana in the 83 version. But yeah, really, really great movie that if you've seen the, obviously most people that's watching this have seen Al Pacino Scarface, like, and you haven't seen this one, I recommend it. Like, I think, because I think it does things, I think it does enough like different things with the material to warrant this one like kind of standing on its own versus I think most people when they watch this might see an inferior version of the Pacino one, but I do, or the De Palma one. But I do think this movie has its own merit, and I do think it kind of stands on its own, and it shouldn't be compared to the 83 one, even though it will, just because that naturally that's what people do. But I do think it stands on its own. But what I really wanted to dive into with this one is this has like maybe one of the best special features that I've ever seen, at least that I've ever seen Criterion produce. This has a conversation with Megan Abbott, who's a film historian, and then you got actor Bill Hader, and they're just gushing about this movie, just talking about how they do think it's better than the De Palma version. And it's a really great conversation. It's about 45 minutes long, and they both like just make the case for this like being a superior film than the De Palma movie, and they're just like gushing about the movie and the performances. And like I said, it's just a great feature. And I don't feel like you get to see like Bill Hader just really open up and flex like how big of a film nerd he is, and he absolutely does it here. And he's fantastic in this feature. I hope that they get him back for some more stuff because I just thought that he was great. Now I'm sure he costs some money, but I don't know, like this, it was just one of the best like conversations and features that I saw all last year. And I highly recommend this release, like almost just for that, because I think the conversation is so interesting and in depth and great. But you also got the alternate ending here. There is an alternate ending. You got special feature, a new interview with film scholar Lee Jacobs on the director Howard Hawks' innovative use of sound and editing, which is a great feature too. So yeah, there's just some really fantastic features here, and I think this is one of the best produced discs that Criterion has ever done. And I do think they did probably the best that they could with the 4K. I just don't think it looks that much better than the Blu-ray. So I got to be honest there. Next up, guys, last on my list is a movie that I don't think is for everybody, but it was definitely for me. I really love this movie. I reviewed it last year. You can go check that out. I also reviewed Scarface if you want to check that out. But Gumo on 4K from the Criterion Collection. Like this to me, directed by Harmony Korine, was like a very, like, this was A24 before A24. Like this is like something A24 would make in like 2016, 2017, like a Florida Project, like an American Honey. Like honestly, the types of movies that they just don't really make that much anymore. Like I feel like A24 has kind of lost their way a little bit. I'm going to be honest. But Gummo, like this movie came out in 97. I think it's like so ahead of its time. Just like the themes that it dove into, some of the stuff that it did, the way it was shot, the way it was directed, the way it portrayed the characters in the film. I just think that they make a ton of these types of movies like in the past 10 years, but they were not making movies like this in 97. Like Harmony Korine was so far ahead of his time. I feel like with this movie that when most people saw this in 97, they were like, what the hell is that? I don't need to ever watch that film again. But I felt like this was just a really beautiful portrait of this rural American town post a tornado strike. Like this tornado had hit this town. And you have all these like poor people in this poor community. I don't want to use the word white trash, but that's kind of, what they are. And I don't know, guys, I grew up in a really rural area, and I feel like I knew a lot of people that were like this back when I was growing up. And in a weird way, it kind of just felt like a comfort watch for me. So I really enjoyed the movie Gummo, but the 4K like looks excellent. Like I said, it's like an A24 film. And if A24 put this out today, like with modern filmmaking technology, this is what it would look like. Like, I feel like this is so well shot and so well directed. Like the 4K just brings all that out. And it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. Just the way Harmony Korine like shot everything, like all these like real life situations and scenarios, like it just looks gorgeous in 4K. Like the spaghetti in the bathtub sequence looks so great. It really does, guys, in 4K. So I highly recommend this 4K. Highly recommend this movie, even though it's a movie it's a little weird, it's a little out there. I don't think it's going to be everybody's cup of tea. But if what I said sounds, good to you, maybe you will enjoy Gummo as well. There's some really good features here. There's a feature with Harmony Korine that's really great. There's also a conversation with 1997 between Corinne and filmmaker Werner Herzog, who is a big fan of the film. And yeah, just some really good stuff on this disc. I love the artwork on it as well, and I do highly recommend Gummo on 4K from the Criterion Collection. So there you have it, guys. You know, take it for what you will. That's my Criterion recommendations for the month of July. Maybe I'll do another one of these when I watch some foreign films, and I can talk about the Criterion Collection just a little bit better for you guys. Okay. But thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos. I will be linking the sale down below in the description. And if I've got Amazon links for any of these, I will put those down below as well if you prefer to use Amazon. But again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.